Does this feel wrong? I don't mean the character, it's obviously bad, but I just created it in a minute. But do you see anything that's oddly out of place? I'm going to give you a hint. It's the colors. If your art looks like that, it's not your skill, it's just your color choices. Let me show you how to fix that. Hello everyone, I'm a 17-year-old game developer and I'm making my first Steam game, War of Layers. You can wishlist it down in the description, and let's begin. Now, you see the character. I made it in a few seconds, and I'm going to show you where are the errors. First, it looks dull and boring because of the color choices. I intentionally made them bad, and my game actually has a few of these problems and I need to fix them. So now the first thing I'm going to show you is how to choose your colors better. First, let's begin with the hair. Of course, I made it a little strange, but anyway. Now, you see, that's our primary color, and we need a lighter color and a darker color. For the darker color, we usually can accept that, but it's not the best. So the hints to making better color choices is actually, instead of only using darker or lighter colors, you need to shift the hue so you get more warmer and more colder colors. Now for the lighter color I'm going to shift to more colder color, and that's yellow in this case. So we get a little brighter color, and I'm going to shift it right here. A little brighter and a little whiter. I bet. Like that. This is a fine color. It still looks bad because of the darker color. To make it better, we are going to get the darker color, shift it to red because it needs to be more warm color, and we are going to select little, just a little brighter than that. Oops, my bad. We actually need the darker version. Now, you're going to tell me that the difference is not big, and I would agree. But after we change the primary color to just a little more brighter color, now we get a way better looking hair. And for the darker color we are going to set it so also a little brighter, and now we have a better hair in comparison. This is what looked before, and this is what looks now, and this is how it looked before. Big difference, right? Now, for the face and the skin, we don't want this color. This is basically just a darker version of our color for the skin. That's why we are going to shift it to a more warmer color because it's shadow, and now it looks little like the concrete from Minecraft, but it looks better if you, let's see, go right here. From my point of view, it looks way better. Of course, we can shift it a little more and get it right, like that. I think that's a better version of our previous cover. And here we're going to add to this character his little shadows. Now, for the shirt. This is our primary color, and we need the darker color for these shadows and the color and the sleeves. So instead of just making it darker, we are going to shift it a little to the purple, and we are going to get this blue. I think it's royal blue. If you want it more pale, you can always just use the more paler hue, like that. For the pants, the only exception actually is the white and black hue, because there's only these two values. Like, you can go wrong with any gray or black, so it's the problem only occurs when you try to mix it with other colors. Now, just a bonus tip, the problem with the black border. The black border actually makes it look more childish and amateur. So to fix that, we are going to get our color, in this case our skin color, and we are going to use a darker color and of course a little warmer. And now we have a replacement for our black color. We do the same for the shirt. Just a little darker, like that. Now we have our shirt outlined just as we wanted. For the neck, we are going to get a little darker and a little more reddish, just so we can imitate that shadow effect. The same for these two pixels. Now for the pants, we're going to get just a darker gray, even more darker. Okay, just a little bit more darker, like that. And now for the hair, we're going to get, we need that and the most reddish we could make it, and of course dark, it needs to be darker, but that's only for the darker part. For the lighter part, we are going to use more reddish, more orange color, because we need to highlight this area here. That's to imitate light interacting with our character. We're also getting that, so we can imitate again the shadow, and just a pixel right here, because so it can look better. And actually, I forgot that If this helps, I'm making a pixel art game where I use the exact same cover rules. I've got a Steam page up now, so if you're interested, please consider subscribing and liking. I'm also making a pixel art game where I use the exact cover rules. I've got a Steam page now, so if you're interested, wishlisting it really helps. Bye.